one in 3 types and as into a customary marriage.
Okay.
Into depending on a involved no. A quite now person of fun. Into me for customary marriage. A customary marriage, based on your case law. Going back to the days of the celebrated juries, Justice Olenu, in the celebrated case of Yaote and Kwe.
Okay.
We're defining customary marriage.
Okay.
We're defining it as a warrior between a Barimah and the family and a Oban and the family.
Okay.
It goes beyond just Barimah and a Obano.
Okay. Now there's a trap. Say me and Obana me busuya ni Obana busuya enyina na involved.
Exactly.
Okay.
And also customary marriage so one qualities be. Inti baako say customary marriage potentially in Rebecca say potentially polygamous.
Okay, now there's a customary marriage unya ewura bi mu a wade a wo kwan nya so tin wa dodo.
Wo be man no because polygamy you will say you mean baako polyandry and baako polygyny.
Okay.
But in Ghana no polyandry is prescribed.
Okay.
And the polygyny, which is say Barimah need to marry or to marry more than one.
Okay. Now there's Obana de Ghana man sequence Obana to marry me. No Barimah de so who customary marriage ni mu a emrana ma kwan ma Barimah need to marry me. Absolutely. Na so bidu so ware bia.
Absolutely. Okay. And customary marriage one of the qualities say potentially polygamous. Into Barimah no at any point in time no or to marry count. Okay. And a cap bia ni so. Yes, because a kappa. Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
And the second one also say a customary marriage, a prohibited on the grounds of consanguinity. Consanguinity in a sense is a relationship, blood relationship between two people. Until Barimah and Obano say, we are related by blood. Customary marriage.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Na say no jom ti ase ya na say oba na be ma no efri ebia eja ba akoma na say na ba akoma na bia o nyina bofu ma ba akoma ba akoma enam so o mu nyina efri yefun ba akoma na say o moja no esene nti o mi nti ngware ma na yi.
Exactly.
Mo so we efri ba bi no o efri ba bi.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. And the tosumi and say customary marriage any ordinance marriage are mutually exclusive in the sense that won't mean customary marriage na later we say o sign be okoware will be by ordinance. Into say all your customary marriage na also immediately say o ware will be by customary. Now later on o converting into ordinance. It means a customary marriage a bit trim as if say
any
new.
Okay, then say even say me bia oba akoro no a enyo oba foforo oba akoro no a no ware no in the customary way no and we no what toss akoye ordinance and no emra ne hu ne say emra ne gi ordinance ne pe na tum ni mum enye customary ne tum
exactly.
Okay, and I will say yentimi nso se me koye owa fan so ba ho ade customary a mintimi nsan wo no ho enko ware oba be in ordinance form so.
Exactly. I know under laws no Rebecca say I know it will be it borders on the lines of criminality.
I see.
Because a monogamous marriage which is ordinance naturally monogamous.
As a new say ordinance na e wedding na kan wasem.
Exactly.
And no dey ware e ba ko pe. Would ware me.
Until once you attempt say obey back account either say by a customary and answer by a ordinance, it becomes or it falls into what we call bigamy, and bigamy is a criminal offense.
Okay. I see. Now, yes, BBD, breach of promise to marry.
Well, breach of promise to marry, say, Ghana had so person warrior. There are 3 forms of which marry. One, your customer, discussed that.
Yeah.
other one here ordinance, so I discuss it briefly, and the third one here Mohammedan,
Cremophobia, yes.
Now, whichever choir or be choosing, the starting point exchange of promises.
Okay.
Say be man be shebo say.
Ebe shebo be say me say what?
Me ware o. Obe shebo ama oba so obe ware na oba no so G2.
Okay.
Say wana so obe pene. Into once there's that exchange of promises no, then under your laws no, it constitutes what we call a binding enforceable contract. Which one of either of them can go to court and enforce.
Okay.
What I say? So that is what we call a exchange of promises. It constitutes what we call an enforceable contract.
Okay.
And once that contract is formed, then any of the parties now involved, no, once okay say oh me worry na obani jituma na ebia in the course of it no one for failure, then it amounts to what we call breach of promise to marry.
Okay. And
breach can occur in two ways. Either say anticipatory and also non-performance. Now, anticipatory, what we mean is if Barimah shebono, so be worry obano, or kase me worry by the end of December.
Okay.
And I say on the occurrence of Christmas. Maybe me worry on the occurrence of Christmas by means of ordinance. Maybe Christmas and Drew, na we who say, and that's what Bana who say, Barimah ako worry will be by ordinance. It means say once we worry will be by ordinance. Won't mean and no is what we call anticipatory breach.
Okay.
You can anticipate say won't mean for
exactly.
Bona or shell.
Yeah.
The second one near non-performance. And no worker say me worry by December. By ending of December. Now December nature more January more on for failure on worry. Then it means that non-performance breach has occurred.
Okay.
And any of them
is say Masha was by bring ebe. Now you October maybe around October ending what some now there's no say and nam say the possibility would be massive very high. Then we anticipate breach say who say me need to be massive because of the anamon medical thing.
Exactly.
And now the other one say be December and say bridge and share one so etwemu na wale na maso.
Exactly.
Okay.
And your friend and non-performance.
Non-performance, all right.
Non-performance. And meaning actionable in court.
Meaning or ban bit to one and what man.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Exactly. Okay. Now, you're going to say, had there any special characteristics be a war customary marriage?
Yes. Medical kind, going back to the celebrated juries. Justice Olenu,
yeah.
In the celebrated case of Yaote and Kweno, or lay down for a principles on all friend 4 essentials of customary marriage.
Okay.
And to honor. Once one of those essentials named Nima, one of those essentials, then there's marriage in your own worry.
Okay.
In the first one, they say, was state say, Barimah a Obano. Or some legitimate some person together, more wire no together. And the first one. Okay. And the second one is say Barimah family. Or somebody legitimate say or ban person wire or legitimate. And the third one also or ban family so or almost legitimate. Our no in it too.
Okay.
And the final one here consummation. Consummation is on better together normal that together normal.
Okay. Okay.
Then I have 4 essentials now.
I see.
But however, no, we share your mramwa. Ole no principle 4 essentials no. We share your mramwa. They no longer stand.
Okay.
They no longer stand because mrana evolve.
Okay.
So now no, ole we share customary marriage. Your 2 types. Your formal one and your informal one. Formal one no, they say Barimah family, Ebeko Obano family. Now, Omako Kashe, Obano family say, oh, I'm a person worry, I'm a banner. Now, Ebiana 2 families, no, settle on deed, say, okay, on this particular day, you better finalize the process, no. Into on that particular day, no. Into first part, no, and your friend, knocking, no. And so subsequently after knocking, no, Barimah family, then we'll go with depending baby oban free oban the culture and the tradition the inti so oya kania and asa santinia specifically no inti subsequently omukwa be man the family kwa e bia na omode drinks na ade na omode akoma oban the family na oban the family afre oban na e bibisa no say oh asimesi in the family say omo person mo ware ojitum into ojitum then they then finalize the process. Now I marriage. I know that your mram, Ghana mram, your friend, former customary marriage.
Now knocking the next knocking and your marriage.
Knocking in your marriage.
Oh, okay.
Knocking.
But even someone when you go knocking your next review.
They knocking in your marriage. And we share your society most. There's this common mistake and for they liken what we call engagement popular in your society. Say. Bema family akohu ba family na omo the Bible on the ring account. Inti a lot of people's afa that particular event no as equating to customary marriage. No.
Okay.
And yes, synonymous to customary marriage at all.
Okay.
In fact, the presentation of a Bible on the ring no and yes synonymous to it has no intimacy with your friends a customary marriage.
Okay.
In fact, the reality is strange to your customs. Bible there.
Bible ne ring no. And your money and your mom and
share. But meanwhile, there's your society. There's this
perception.
And customary marriage. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
They are two separate things.
All right.
The presentation of Bible in the ring there is got more to do with ordinance.
Okay.
It has more proximity with ordinance than.
Does it mean that the customary marriage it can occur without the rings?
It can,
okay.
But depending on certain cultures,
okay.
A ring might be one of the requirements.
It's a ring in a camera, but ring in
it doesn't invalidate our area.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Send an American. Aside from our former customary marriage, or informal customary marriage, and that is what I was alluding to. Say the involvement of umrano customary marriage into Oshe. In the case of Esuma and Care, for instance, they laid down what constitutes a informal customary marriage. Into Barimah, se Barimah ne oba epene se ombetena together as husband and wife. Now, in actuality, no matter not together as husband and wife, and there's evidence say, oh, society full who say, Papa we and Mommy we almost together, and Oma together, and omota co programs to say be a funerals near the idea together, and so be a me no sign acquire property, be Oma dying together. So, in the eyes of the Ghanaian course, no, once they see all of these things are under listing, then to them, no, even though your friend is a papa no, and I said Barimah no, on in the family, or mom call Obano family, and co present drinks nationals now, asking for a hand in marriage. The absence of those things does not mean say there's no marriage. Once they have lived together, or martin together, or Oma together, Oma attaining and also Oma acquire properties together, and Omota attending and Omota occasions
programs
together.
And
society and some in the eyes of the court, that constitutes informal customary marriage, which is also actionable.
Okay, no even those on co-official inquiry in one day. Now, so I'm to do no whom say one year, I want to and you will be tying together in team. It is presumed to say, even though young the format and informal marriage.
Absolutely. Until we share in the famous case of Esuma and Care, for instance, say your friend is saying, Barimah worry oba or worry no by a customary marriage, and Barimah for third party, your friend the third party, or no bias, no bias, no J. Your friend is saying Obano.
Okay.
To or J Obano, and I didn't know where.
Okay.
Or didn't know where, and or sign, and subsequently, or to talk in Yama, and all the ma, your friend is saying Obano family, someone from Koma, obani ne kunu no as replacement of the dowry no. So even though in that particular famous case, third party papa no ono obae one cop mama no ho and one ko mama ne family am presenting the man. But in the eyes of the court, no, the court said the first marriage had been dissolved and the subsequent one constituted valid informal customary marriage.
And therefore, any after for running some of the Terabia, what did to the normal when Tiasi and Mabima? Ya na bua ebo brekakra na so nyinam no de amrane ka no eno ana yedi so ebra hwe ye wo question bi a peso busa bibi na wonte ase a ye de phone lines no to screen sese a fa na frɛ na o question bi ha wa wonte ase bibi a sie wo wade ho a won bia no won so busa phone number na the screen so na ye 0550 090702 0550 090702 Fred, offer Bomodian lower TV, no. The American be able to the lower TV book, and a question. Na Yetimiano come. In the sense of me and come ye cost you a few bebre. And Tene Aquanya number. Dear, I've been one child, when you ye bian. Fred, near more new year, dear Nay, and as if in the decor, and Manoka, a first hour and a woman. Council. Yantuas, now, you say, no, having done this. Say me pese my coin to customary marriage. Na say me pese me gunu. Do I have to go to the court?
You can. There are two ways of doing so.
Okay.
You can do it customarily by means of your custom, or you can also go to court under because your MMRA Parliament passed your friend Matrimonial Causes Act.
Okay.
And share under Section 41 of the Matrimonial Causes Act. It makes or it creates a window for a spouses or through customary marriage to be able to dissolve their marriage by means of the courts. And it depends on the persons involved. If you want to do it by means of customary customs, you can follow that path. If you also want to do it by means of the court, you can go via the courts. So depending on the persons involved and the choice they want to make. But my opinion as counsel, as a lawyer, and they say sometimes, depending on the circumstances, it's always better to go through the court because the courts will more or less present you with certain opportunities.
Okay.
For instance, court in the determination of or in the dissolution of the marriage, you apply certain principles, constitutional principles, and the rule of law principles to say natural justice, conscionability, equitability.
Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon. Me catch your friend me. Equia.
Okay.
Me catch free Madina.
All right, Equia, Majo. Question.
Me patron, me question. They say. Our form, our customary marriage, everything done, wedding done, tema. You register everything. Until after some years, we encountered some problems, and medically, my husband happens to be a sickle cell, and I mean so me a sickle cell. Then I opted, say no. I don't want it because I don't want it to continue again. Until eventually there's a divorce coming up.
Okay.
Me kuno ante mase. Until me yi me nyamako a 2 years ni. So with that, how do you see it? Because me kuno anya ready so obeje nsano. Yeah, we've tried to meet his family. Until with that, is it a divorce? After 2 years, never say maybe a lawyer say, how does he seize it?
All right. But that's it. For Olana to say the Abanya question or answer. Counsel, not some there 2 ways. But I said, what the reason they were cited medically as we no fit because we AS to whom say because one person almost one about and then AS and there should be divorce. And you know, But one, already concerned because be man person be jinsan. But this is a marriage that has gone through ordinance. Can that be divorced through semedin sanako? That is first question. The other question is you said, having left the matrimonial home for 2 years now, when be money ni bibia you know, can that also amount to divorce or they should go through proper divorce?
Okay, we share MMRA. First of all, now I'll say Omar register marriage no.
Yeah.
It raises certain questions. So
okay.
Why register marriage? Because also Omar custom and Omar wedding, Omar ordinance. Yeah. Because Okasa registration say your friend is saying customer marriage so registrable. So customer register. So I was asking whether customer marriage or register and also my wedding then converted it to ordinance and have subsequently registered it. So Osha, you see, in a purely customary marriage, Osha and Mramwa in I think there's a case the court stated said there's a marriage or specifically customary marriage can be dissolved unilaterally.
Okay.
Unilaterally, I'm saying is one of the spouses can unilaterally dissolve the marriage because say problems between the two of them now both families have attempted to resolve the marriage and it's gone beyond reconciliation in law Rebecca and the attempt then to give the drinks or the equivalent gifts back to Barimah to say in her case Barimah you see you can't force somebody in a marriage.
Okay.
That's a general principle of contract. A marriage is a contract. You can't force somebody into a contract. That's the reason why there's a universal principle like every contract be terminable.
Yeah.
Once you draft it or you enter into a contract and there's a clause saying you can't get out of it, that's unconscionable and it's illegal.
Okay.
To put it legally. Inti ubisamia, I think because they have moved it or converted it into ordinance.
All right. Wait 1 second. Kola, good afternoon. Kola, good afternoon.
Hello, afternoon.
Good afternoon, madam. Bacha, would you know where you're free?
If I your friend me, Anita.
Bacha, free.
If I me free, Kaswa.
All right, Bacha, Anita, Bacha, it's you.
If I me worry, 3 years ni.
Bacha, what are you doing? Anita. Bacha, what to answer?
Okay, inti. Say earlier call on the case no so state say on the basis of medical grounds.
Yeah.
Now we share in most of the cases the grounds for dissolution of customary marriage. In fact, Rebecca say inexhaustive.
Okay.
It's not the list is not exhaustive.
Okay.
There are so many reasons why. Exactly.
Okay.
One of them infidelity on the part of the woman because in customary marriage the man cannot commit infidelity.
Okay. Good afternoon, caller. Good afternoon. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Pacho, good afternoon.
Afternoon, madam. Pacho, would you know be free?
Me Pacho, the family Augustina. A family Augustina make a freedom.
All right, madam Augustina, Pacho, it's you.
Me Pacho yo.
And tell who TV so I would have said tunka.
Me Pacho yo Martin das. Me Pacho Bema o peso o ware me no. Oni na okofa na busuafo fi ni krom. Ne papa ne maame ene ne wo fa ne mo. Ebe ye fie die. Ba ka wa bia an ambem. Na mpesa ubisa when mama say say na me friend ya ware ana say wedding ni ntina e bia it say.
Okay, ntimbacho question mama nti wase Bema na de nabusuafo ba wo so obusuafo nchen ebesere wa ware afiri wo nsam mebo a.
Me Pacho an.
De nsane bibia ba fie ebe ye ho ade ofie.
Me pa try.
Na mo ring na mo amfa nka ho ho.
Me pa try.
Nti na wo bisa se de won so de ne ya ware anasa nya ware.
Me pa try.
All right, nti ba to fatu say de abenya ansa.
Yo.
All right. Council but to the trust free first one and the other for you my median.
Okay, first one saying an American the grounds for dissolving a marriage, inexhaustive.
That's on no grounds now say no
correct.
All right.
And so they because I'm converting into ordinance or some of
court council.
Exactly.
So no question is on 2 years no. I want to be man in champion 2 years no. And also no American that amount some divorce.
Say call ordinance the way they dissolve ordinance, there were a number of ways of doing it. I think 5 years separation. I think so on say 2 years.
2 years, yes.
So 2 years, I think say 2 years, it's a bit problematic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Say madam we dey one also dey was say Barimah no dey ensane bibi akọ but now ringing come. Is that marriage?
Yes, sir. No, me decline car say a customary law marriage. You will mean your informal one and your formal one. Into ocean or no DNA. It even falls under the formal one.
Okay.
And me decline car say the presentation of Bible in the ring. No, I know strange to customary marriage. Into the two they don't even work together.
Okay.
But where related to ordinance,
okay,
which is the presentation of ring and then the Bible. I know related to ordinance, but on the customary marriage. So, in the eyes of the law and on my opinion, based on my understanding of the law, it's a valid marriage that occurs.
Okay. And Madam Augustine, I'm about what you know said okay, and what you know, ne kwanso and why. Call good afternoon, but we didn't never be afraid.
I'm very friend Francis Mikasefi Akra.
Francis, but it's you.
I'm not council like Asanoka, Bibifa. Obi oye third party hu no say obi aware akohu abusuafo no na ohu abusuafo no wie no third party nsu bem ono oba no we na odi nyama koma be man kunu e hono mentiase papa so betumi
achiro
na matiaso
all right yo that's it all right council majosa what any question here.
My response and they say I know a real case is here court a determination and you know lawyers say in the hierarchy of laws in Ghana under your constitution the constitution the
supreme law
the sovereign law and after the constitution the MMRA parliament they pass it comes next and then after that your friend is saying a subsidiary legislation so counting in subsidiary legislation parliament they passing in so then our customs so customary law and also a part of your laws and then your case law so which we took from as a common law in the country we took from the common law this case law is part of the MMRA inti asuma and care was a case that occurred the court determined it and so it served as a precedent going forward and defined for a reasonable period of time what we call informal marriage, informal customary marriage. And in that particular case, facts were that Barimah wari oba customarily no almost together. And third party Barimah
Barimah for front is one.
And obeje more the mamene a warrior. Into a warrior no. Even though Mamene marriage with the man was still existing. But new Barimah the third party or buy inside or buy between the two of them or no was accepted by Obane family more or less impliedly. And by virtue of that no to talk nema first Mamene husband
first man
Darren and no toy and the man Mamene family so on fan koma
we na se sawa no mumu no
exactly
no sa fa ba ne mo no mo ware
until almost years and your friend is say the Darren presented Darren the back so even though subsequently ono ne mama no mawo but o man koye your friend is saying one ko present James near ade but the court defined it and held it to be a valid marriage between
the third man and then the woman because the Barimah no edi ba ko no 3 sana koma akọ man back through oba na busu enti.
Exactly.
Right.
Until dissolution had occurred, and at the same time to
the marriage as well,
exactly, because the elements of informal marriage existed, which is giving birth and here and then living together and people seeing them in society.
Very well.
Yeah.
Very well. Kola, good afternoon. But you didn't be a friend. Hello. Hello. All right. But you enter yourself on one lines. Kola, good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from. Hello. All right. Indeed. Now that case in India, it's quite unique. All right. Good afternoon, Kola. Your name and where you're calling from.
I'm Daniel from Ashalibutri.
All right, Daniel, Bajo, it's you.
Bajo, who are the next one register, not a divorce, but one to make court. The one register or court.
Bajo, one Obana worry if you are a member. But more inquiry ordinance, more register court, baby. Now, and I see divorce about divorce number, say, Munti Obium. Number to Munti Obium, no, a twins and no was Mauritania.
But also,
a twins and Modeco.
Who said the Yamamino, a Canadian. That Papa no Peso Beji in town.
Into also the number of Benjamin Bois.
For me, a question I made, sir.
Okay, no, it's a question. Say, in Pansy, as I want to the number of Benjamin twins and no. And I'm going to Obium. Our Diana, Banana, our Diana,
yes, yes.
Okay. All right, well, that's it. And my questions out, what's the question as he?
Or say, oh, no, or one person would
yeah, I mean, or cite a similar example with the first woman, no. Our cousin, my name, Person, my gate.
Yeah, no, that.
And to honestly be as a woman, you know, if you are any be one quite, yeah, ordinance behind also. I bet if you are in that, or banning empress or the trees and budget and back. But woman to be, cannot amount to divorce.
Say, already, no, classical customary marriage, no why.
Yeah.
More or less they are separated. And I know make a attempt say or the entrance and never come back.
Yeah.
And one person
yes.
Initially some indicated say customary marriage you can dissolve it in 2 ways.
Yeah.
Under the matrimonial causes act through the court and answer through the customary way.
Yeah.
Or no attempted customary way no. And what they did no say I've indicated say you cannot hold the other party and the other spouse to ransom say the law in customary marriage generally in marriage has made room for unilateral dissolution of the marriage. So what they call now on because they've been separated, maybe say how long, the court will then make a determination say if they have been separated for a reasonable period of time, it amounts to valid dissolution of the marriage.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
A reasonable period of time.
Kola, good afternoon. Bacho, would you be free?
Good afternoon. Bacho, me free am Samai.
Bacho, it's you.
Me free.
I'm free, Bacho, it's you.
Me Bacho, me offer ne yere. Oma ware court aware ni efie. Na so no. Se oba na free me offer ho 8 years ni. Offer otiom aware no ware biom. Offer nsanemra otiom fama. Etimi busa se me offer anko court no. Obetimi aware ana. Abra obani fan sani mai.
Okay.
Obetimi aware.
All right. But I thought in the question. All right. Okay. The question now is no offer aware. No offer aware for 8 good years. No offer no action who free aware no. Na say no offer nchen. I want interview. With the notions of onware beam. But on onware beam I mean there don't be any proper or official divorce. But for the past 8 years they've not been together. It is we just know for bit like I say and no one do for frana.
Is it ordinance or
ordinance?
Ordinance.
Yeah.
Yes, I know your friend is say we share under ordinance one of the ways of dissolving it. We have got other ways if they have been separated for 5 years.
You were 8 years.
If they have been separated for 5 years and there are certain conditions and those conditions are met, then a valid divorce as well.
All right. Okay. And that's it. But you call good afternoon. We didn't know free.
Pacho, good afternoon.
Afternoon, madam. But you didn't say.
Pacho, a friend, me na me the kind friend, you know. A friend me Anita.
Anita, but you tell. Hello.
Pacho, me me no
But you
worry.
in TV as well. I don't know, Anita. So what mean come in TV so like I say why?
Me Pacho 3 years ni na aware na e worry, you know. Court ya worry 3 years ni na ya worry court ni efie de ni nyina bibia kama na sorry ni my receipt bibia wo fie nanso se me pesa me de court a be kunu so me ntwen kakra na bibia ni nso me nti ase na me bisa se me a metime de akwa na because the signature bibia wo so me a metime de akwa na makwa sesa medin ana
but o question no man tini ye papa e dey ade na say won chen am pese o court
me pacho me trese ya worry 3 years ni
yeah
na bibia ya efie de ni court ni nyina ya wedding na court aso my receipt court winning na mekuno no ono no sini signature wo so ba me say yam sorry ni say yam fan ko back me ka say yam fan kwa also me ntwen kakra 3 years ni
oh okay but 20 dina so answer mo marriage certificate na asoro no ma mo copy no
me pa try
and asoro no say mo for second copy no go back to the court
me pa try
and now 3 years ni ukun ma on fa
me pa try
you want to busa say
me a metime de akwa ana because ne signature ne bibia wo so ne ma me de ne papa de me so me papa de bibia wo so come
all right okay yo mate
all right that's it
guys what the question I was say normally after marriage you know certificate copies in A2 one must be returned to either the assembly or whatever more pick free you know and I was say most keep back but come here say we dey 2 copies nyina be di omo nchen o ka so ko so do kwa ni kun say wonya botransa so 3 years now on Vancoy. Now the question is, can she take it back without the authorization of the husband?
Under the law, straightforward, yes.
Okay.
But also watch, is it going to create problems within the marriage?
Okay.
But that one is up to her. But under the law, I mean. So
under the law, between the
so it does. Right. There's no law that says Barimah and Kwane between.
Very well. Yeah. Very well. Okay. Mato, caller, good afternoon. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon, madam. Bacho, who didn't know free?
Bacho, your friend are better.
Bacho, auntie, better. All right. Bacho, it's you.
Bacho, your friend are better.
Bacho, it's you, auntie, better.
Bacho, me cool. I was there 16 years.
Okay.
Na, ayo. Na e ware ye de bibia ko assembly ho ama asofo ntato no certificate ya wade ma ye akazaka kakra ba ya na be ma ne fa certificate ana otiti mu sezi aye ntama siti be se 14 years ni wa ware ni oba afoforo ti me de me ware oni so a wonya me on fan sam mai ni so me fa ne de enko Eti.
Auntie Abeta, Bacho, a bit me and see who was even as well. Daruma. The all can be a thing to the intil. Why? Hello. All right, cancel and to us. But I mean, the question, what's in a see here?
As a
one name
started a chassis from Customary normal converted
to ordinance.
And
now, at some point, there was a misunderstanding. The Barimah at marriage certificate.
No, there's a copy with the court and those.
Exactly. And now, yes, I know they have also been separated. Okay, they have been separated for 14 good years.
Separation, no, and about effects.
Okay.
But in terms of the so marriage certificate in there, and no legally.
Okay, so, but also I didn't remember so tell me
vocation.
Say, obi for your ordinance marriage, no. na awareja ye ba ya na people also believe say also Sunday the customary part no and sana what did na say Sunday sana go back. There's a two working that way.
No, one say customary marriage say and the family law there will be a friend of conversion. Into you can convert customary marriage into ordinance. And once there's conversion of
customary to ordinance
into ordinance, automatically customary marriage it ceases to exist.
Okay.
As if say and into once there's dissolution of the now ordinance marriage, technically there's no need to worry yourself with.
And Sana is also under corner. All right.
Exactly.
Okay. Macho, good afternoon, caller. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, sir, good evening.
Macho, bet number programs look at.
What I remember was in Tikasayetio.
Hello, good afternoon.
Macho, you're two can senior.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, I'm Macho in Tio who TV as well. You're two count to the casa. Low TV, not the casa.
Me, Pacho, me question is say.
All right. Hello. Macho, call us my friend, Mandaro, my Samwara. My questions in who here now, your answers in the win year. And the best Mofra, Utivino, Dumono, I mean, wouldn't about it mutino. Why, not in Tio who TV, so. Name pay attention to us. The amendment can be an phone to get out nobody. Why not now the bush out also question. Good afternoon, call Bacho, we didn't be free.
Yeah, hello, Bacho, your friend Elizabeth. Me can say free Ashama.
Madam Elizabeth, Madrid.
Bacho, na me papa. Or worry me, ordinance.
Okay.
And 2 months later, no, and I realized say was some quarry another woman. Oma woba. And about no customary marriage, and I say, and tell no which of the marriage is recognized.
Okay, but before so what about to know? Oma Amediano, Ogusin in a hostel.
But Papa left him 1 year ago.
Open left 1 year ago.
But the woman that is married customary married no we jawari Papa yari na ojai I say oni me Papa change you. Nti me mama na ewo ho ana ofim koi. Nti me be say which of the marriages is recognized because we no the Japadian so omo nche ebusanfo say my stepmother also have to get her share. How the way forward. That's it.
All right, that's it. Council, what's the question?
Money, hano.
Okay.
Because say the mom and the papa, or more and I know your ordinance. And ordinance we've said earlier on say I know naturally and inherently monogamous. Monogamous meaning say worry being count. Into one say the papa and the mommy or worry and ordinance. Technically means that any other thing a papa and the were not marriages.
Okay.
They are not valid marriage in the eyes of the law.
All right. Into and this but question here very simple and answer. Was say our now papa ko ware wo ma me de chino emra na nyentum. Emra na jo ma me de no ne ware ne pe anatomo. Tene pe na emra nim. The bike to be an Emran. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon.
Yes, madam.
Me pacho say obi e worry.
But you didn't be
customary. Otimi esan ko worry aye obey ordinance marriage ana.
But you didn't be free.
Your friend me abna, me free abna so edro.
All right, but you tell me question kakra. Nipa no person okoware no ordinance ni oba akro no na e ware no customary na so ba foforo
bema ekoware oba customary na bema na assign akoware obi aye ordinance.
Oh, okay. It's quite similar to the immediate question nearby before this one. But we know oba no sorry bema no aware mami no ba customary first and as second one. That's the second marriage in the ordinance. Which one is valid?
To share technically say customary marriage is potentially polygamous.
Yeah.
So you can marry
somebody else.
But immediately you marry somebody else, ordinance. It means the ordinance marriage, more or less extinguishes
the first one. And the madam of free agreement was say, I want to touch me no ordinance no. It trap the decan or yen customary marriage no etrum. But I call good afternoon, your name and about your free.
So me pacho me din na me free takrade.
Na number 20.
Me question is say person na mo kan bia makọ ware oba. Efi aware ya bibia na ebia oba no ahun be mafoforo. Na waye ne ho se opese oja aware te se na mo kan se ebia oja aware 2 years a obetimi ajai. Na se wo be ma no wahu se oni be mafoforo e wo ho a e wo miramu no. Dia en na obetimi aye be ma no.
Okay. All right. Nana me that's it. Matter of fact,
yeah.
One about and we who say oba no e fa na chi with another man, but officially it is one said we no officially.
Only evidence say oba no fa na chi.
Well, evidence 71 can but you was I'm sure be another who and what TV.
Say oba no fa na chi. Inti ope divorce ana.
No, what steps can he take either against a man who is trying to trespass on his marriage, and also ban them or no so furnishing?
So we there say the first of all, one, does he even have our dance here say Papa is doing that? If so, our dance here, the only so let's assume say our customary.
Yeah, what's customary? Yeah.
So under the customary law, no, there will be a friend enticement. Enticement, but enticement, the classical definition of enticement as what's in the situation does not come under enticement, because enticement is where say honor obano or maware mote obano primary duty per customs is to do domestic side, to be domestic, give birth, take care of your unkolano and also look after the man, be a companion to the man. At any point in time, say third party, Barimah, me procure Obano. Now Obano ceases to perform those things for the man. Then we call it enticement. But Osho Modena, it looks like the woman is still performing the duties back home. So Osho technically any enticement. So you can't come, you can't go after Papa.
Okay.
What you can do is say Obeko after the wife. So Obeko after the wife. So what really does he have under the law? It's just divorce.
Okay.
So divorce and then say customary law marriage. So divorce. There are two ways. Either say Obeko court and also
okay. All right. Mbacho, call on the line. Good afternoon.
Afternoon. Mbacho, queer Masaba. Me pacho me say lawyer Kabi say. Hello.
But me say
lawyer Kabi say your customary marriage na say convert it into ordinance. There is no need for you to return the drink to the man.
Yeah.
I want to find out. And he said one return a drink to the man. Does that mean say no na?
Said you can.
Me case and they say I'm free for 2 years in I'm trying everything possible. Say drink and go back to home. Does that mean say a win here?
Say so when you call ordinance marriage, ordinance no a botra customary marriage no. And this a botra ne dia. Any ordinance no say the benefit can be a chira bon ne dia no. Into ordinance na so gun wo court. The enam say court na so gun in tin. Win here say den san na be ko achi. Because den san ko achi a ordinance no. So what does it?
Now realize the case no. And san no kra no mu dwane. Court no so class on you ready so obeko. O be say unso waka so say untimi nhye obi say onware. Enti na say yentimi force obi ma ne nware ni enti no. There's nothing like say me say omra court kwa me nya wo say na wo ma na wade na pe. I mean enye force sa. It is a wutu sa na mo no kwa na e dia court betie na dia baby say court the court e de beto. E de ato.
Yeah.
Okay. Pacho me da se pa nya me sha mo be.
Me da se. All right. So that is our last caller, counsel. In summary, what would you say on customary marriage?
In customary marriage, this is an American. Make a number of things. First, customary marriage say you who elected to go through customary marriage, and in the event where say a person would divorce it, my advice is you go through the Matrimonial Causes Act, and don't just customary go through the court and have it dissolved, because court then it has a lot of benefits that you get from it. And secondly, so who go you through customary marriage, it's registrable. You see, but there's a law that has been passed by Parliament. Your friend, the Customary Marriages and Divorce Customary Marriage and Divorce Act. Your friend, the PNDC Law 112. And there's even an amendment to that particular law, which is PNDC Law 263. When you go through customary law marriage, you register it. And in the case there's even a divorce, register the divorce too. Because once you register the marriage, and in the event where Papa ni knew, let's say Papa ni in your Papa ni film, you don't have any difficulty in proving say you were married to Papa no. So in the event where there's issues in relation to inheritance, properties and properties here and there, because they will register with customary marriage, so there's records to that effect, so you can easily prove it in court. What you say, and your friend is saying so the registration of divorce, so if you register it, the benefit is say when you now elect to go and engage in your friend is a monogamy ordinance marriage, and no, I wouldn't say ordinance marriage is a process. In the process of going through the ordinance marriage, when they publish bans here and there, there could be caveat being entered. So when there's caveat being entered, saying to the effect that, you were married before, but you have a record of the registration of the divorce, so you benefit from it.
Very well. Yeah, that's it. And lawyer Umar Farouk, and anybody in common. Now to send a essential and also your bedding comobium alpha a the Mohammedan's marriage, and also on our Zambatanase. Now, what the Alpha Nusumu, yeah, I said in Cremo forward, and also is here, and then Nijayimu, and once and some yes, and then Ocean Debris said the customary marriage is here, and Okambi Mafaso Jaya, India, and India, which is also beyond working. Now to send a essential be meeting at the Barimah, and ransom to Madini, and that's it.